Should you do performance modifications for your Harley? Let's discuss.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. Hope you're enjoying the channel and the series. Please like, share, subscribe, leave loads of comments below and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. So in this video I'm talking about doing modifications to your Harley Davidson. Is it really worth it? What gain do you get from doing the modification? Now what I'm really talking about here is not aesthetic modifications, I'm talking about performance modifications primarily. So your stage upgrades, that kind of thing, exhaust, airflow, tuning, cams, whatever. Should you just stick with what you have or actually go for the upgrades and get better performance? And is that performance gain really worth the expenditure? Now I'll give you a case in point. I've already made a video about the difference between a 107 and a 114, and actually you can spend less money upgrading a 107 and get the same performance as a stock 114. So you can actually save money there. But some people say, well actually, why don't I just buy the 114 in the first place? Same with the 114 versus the 117, if that's available. Now, you could upgrade your 114 to go, even higher than a 117, let's say. And especially if you're not using Harley Davidson parts, or if you go for something else completely different, you swap out the engine, go for something like an S&S, then you can go even further. But really, what is the performance gain? Now, obviously, people like to ride Harley Davidsons, of course you do. And other people will say, well, yeah, but it's about the sound, it's about the responsiveness of the throttle, because let's face it, out of the box, Harleys are a little bit lethargic. So they need a little bit more pep just to get them down the road. And I agree with that. Actually, I agree with that. I think that, having stage upgrades and having those performance upgrades does definitely improve each individual bike. But I'm not saying by a tremendous amount. But definitely you will notice it. But then again, for most riders, how much do they need that? Now, if you get a tuner, let's say a Vance & Hines tuner, an FP3 tuner, I think you can actually de-restrict the bike just by the tuner. So you can remove that 110 mile an hour, 150 mile an hour limitation. So it will take it up to 130, something like that. If you do all the stage upgrades up to stage 4, you might be banging on the door about 145, 150 miles an hour, possibly. Some saying even 157 miles an hour, but that's yet to be proven to me. But in your heart of hearts, how many people are actually going to be riding that bike anywhere near those speeds? In fact, most people are going to be riding those bikes with all those performance modifications only at regulation speeds, 60, 70 miles an hour, depending where you are in the world. Let's face it, if you're in the UK, then we've got speed cameras everywhere. We've got CCTV cameras everywhere. If you go on the motorways now, we've got these new smart motorways that every single junction is being measured, your speed is being measured. If you go through any kind of contraflow, any roadworks, your speed is measured. So it's really, I'm not saying it's difficult to get away with high speed, but the chances are if you do high speed for any prolonged time and on a regular basis, you will get caught by the police, you will get fines, and then ultimately you're going to lose your license. So is it really worth it? So most people aren't really going to use those speeds. So what are you going to have those performance upgrades for? Well, usually it's for passing speed, isn't it? It's for overtaking speed. Having a little bit of big balls at the ready to just zip past a car, a bike, or a lorry, or whatever it is, a truck. And that's what people are looking for. It's the sound, yes. It's the kudos of, let's say, of having something, a bit more performance graded on your bike, but also it's, having that more rapid acceleration. But here's the question. If performance is all you really want, then maybe Harley Davidson isn't the bike for you anyway. Because let's face it, they're not performance bikes. They're not speed bikes. You want something like that, you go for a sports bike. That's the thing. So I'm I'm in two minds whether I think they're worth it or not. Now, I'm sure there'll be a lot of you here, and please leave loads of comments and let me know what you think. There'll be lots of you, in fact, the overwhelming majority of you would say, yeah, they're absolutely worth it, and I won't disagree with that. There'll be many others of you, because I know this because you've left comments in my videos as well, who say, no, I'm completely happy with the stock. I don't care for any stage upgrades at all. Not interested. Then there'll be others who will say, yeah, I'm going to do the stage upgrades, but I'm never really going to ride it. It's more for the sound or something like that, or maybe a little bit of throttle response. The stage upgrades, the performance upgrades on Harleys are primarily giving you up to 10% incremental upgrades every time you change. I think, you know, if you're going up to a stage 4, obviously this is general speak here because it all really depends on what equipment you're using and what the level of detail of work is. But you're talking 25-30% upgrade in horsepower, possibly in torque as well. Possibly. But with that comes a price tag. So you're probably looking at about, I don't know, if you want to go through all the stages, then get up to a stage 4, you're probably looking in the region of about £10,000, £12,000, $15,000. Depends if you do all the work yourself, of course, or whether you're getting a dealership to do it for you. It really depends. Obviously, I mean, it could be less than that, it could be a little bit more than that, but it really depends on the equipment that you're using. You could go for just a standard stage 1 upgrade, for example, of an exhaust, like a Screaming Eagle, something like that. I don't know, I'm just off the top of my head, for a Canon or something. Or you could go for something that's a £2,000 or £3,000 upgrade, $4,000 upgrade to a Jekyll and Hyde exhaust. You know, it really depends. And you know that, I don't need to tell you that. But is it really worth it in performance terms? Aesthetics, yes, I understand that, you know, because everybody wants to make it their own. You change your bike so it becomes part of you. And the performance aspect is the same as well. You're changing a bike for it to react to the way you want it to react. And possibly Harley should be making bikes that people want in the first place, with a bit more power, a bit more, you know, on delivery, on tap, out of the box. But maybe that's the genius of Harley Davidson right from the very start, and that is that actually we're going to make a baseline bike, and then it's up to people to buy extra stuff just to improve it. I don't know. I sometimes wonder what the performance upgrades are, whether they're really worth it, the amount of money that you spend. And sometimes if you're spending all that money, you might as well just go and buy another bike, or just buy an upgraded bike, or buy a bike with a bigger engine. We live in a world where now you don't even have to buy your bike, you can actually just lease, finance it for 2 or 3 years. So here's the other thing. You want to get your bike and you love your bike, and maybe they're going to upgrade the model in 2 or 3 years time. Bigger engine, so on and so forth. We've already seen it with 107 options to 114 options. Perhaps with the Softail series they go for 117 options as well. I hope. So, do I say to myself, right, I'm going to stick with what I got and just do all the performance upgrades until I get basically a 117 in my bike? Or do I wait a couple of years, save myself all the money, just swap my bike out for a new bike, bish bash bosh, I've got a new 117 engine on my bike. It's actually the same bike. Yes, I never really own the bike, and yes, and all that kind of with the finance options and all that. But essentially, you know, it's not really costing you that much money, apart from the financing, of course. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. I mean, you know, from a purely riding experience, and maybe that's the way you've really got to look at it, a purely riding experience, the performance upgrades are worth it. Because actually you're making that bike your own, and you're making it what you want it to be. So why did you buy that bike in the first place if it wasn't really what you wanted it to be? Maybe that's a question for us all. Anyway, Let me know what you think. Leave loads of comments below. Please like, share, subscribe. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com, and well, catch you on the next video. Well, coming very soon. Ta-da now.
RevelatorAlf.